Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go.
Hey guys, this is Just One Guy, and I'm back here with another video. Now, I know I haven't uploaded a lot of videos in a while, and that's because I've been working on Project Hermes, and that's my game engine on top of the Unity game engine. And the purpose of it is to speed up the future development of all the projects I want to create. So I just finished the first step of the camera code, and here's the update. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about before we get into it is why the camera is so important. And it's because the player is going to be interacting with the camera 90% of the time in your game. So if you don't have a good camera or it feels bad to use, that's going to make the game itself feel bad. Now I want to create a bunch of different types of games, which is why I wanted to get the camera code out of the way in the beginning. And this has been one of the things I've struggled with in each project that I've tried to create. So I wanted to get it out of the way first. Okay, the next feature I wanted to go over was the camera menu. And what this allows me to do is to change any camera variable from both inside the project that I'm currently working on or inside the editor. Now this is important because I like to build projects on my phone and then play test them there. And when I'm doing that, I need to be able to change any camera variable from inside the project itself. Now if I just click this dev menu button and then go into the dev menu and then go to camera, you can see I have all the camera variables exposed right here inside the project itself. Now what this means is I don't have to go back into the editor if I want to change or tweak the camera in some way. I can just do it from inside the project itself. So it will make iteration and game development speed up really quickly, because if I'm playtesting something, then I can just change it directly inside the project itself. Now I'm not going to go over every single variable because most of these are self-explanatory, but I'm just going to go over the overview of them. I have 4 different camera types, which I'll go over in a minute because they're pretty complicated to explain. Then I have my camera avoid types. Next I have the camera move speed, which just controls how fast the camera moves. Then I have the camera allows. This controls the function that the camera is allowed to do. So do I want it to follow the player, rotate on the x-axis, rotate on the y-axis, pan the camera, look at a target, which is normally the player, but not always. Allow the camera to zoom in and out. Do I want to hit the button before panning? Do I want to hold the button before rotation? Then I have the invert rotation. The next one is rotation, where you control the rotation speed and how much you can rotate up or down when rotating on the y-axis. And the last one is just the camera zoom, how fast you can zoom in and how close and how far away the zoom can get. The next feature is the 4 types of cameras that I created. I have the third-person camera, which is just a regular third-person camera, the isometric third-person camera, the isometric click to move. The only difference between these two is the different movement types and the different things that'll be on screen. So they're largely the same. A spectator camera, which will try to follow all the players or characters that are on screen. And then what I'm calling a strategy camera. So it has an isometric view, sort of like an XCOM style game. And the difference between that is you need to pan the camera and rotate. So first, third person, since it's easiest. You can see I can just rotate the camera. It'll try to avoid this cube I have behind it. And if I go into the dev menu and I want to use the transparent camera avoid system instead of the move camera avoid system, and I set the camera, you can see now it will make that cube transparent. So you can see how I can iterate very quickly with this camera menu. So I'm just going to go back into the dev menu and I'm going to set it to isometric third person. You can see the camera switch to an isometric view, and now I can zoom out, rotate around, and it will follow the character. Next is the isometric click to move, and this is largely the same, except you have the ability menu right here, because this is going to use a click to move system. Now I did put the click to move system in the game. I'll just demonstrate it now, but it's a work in progress. So you can see I can't click to move. It's just a work in progress because now I'm working in a movement. But that'll use the ability system right here, and if you want to have rotation, you can have that. Zoom in and out, works the same pretty much. So the next one I want to go to is the spectator camera. Now this requires a little bit of explanation, and I'll have to change the NPC movement type for a second. Right now the NPC is set up to follow me, but if I change that, he'll stay still now. Now what the spectator camera does is no matter what, it will try to keep all characters on screen. So you can see if I zoom in and out, it will still try to keep both characters on screen. Now I didn't set it up to zoom in and out automatically because I figured that is something the player would want to do. And what inspired me to create this type of camera was the last game I created called Evolve Die Repeat. And in that game, I needed a camera system that can keep all the characters on screen, or at least try automatically, but I wasn't sure exactly how to do it. So you can see everything works pretty well. And the last type of camera is a strategy camera for a game like XCOM or something like that. And you can see I can pan the camera, rotate it. I still got some issues to work out with rotation because it'll do a God view rotation, but it does work on every platform with a controller, with a touchscreen, or with a mouse and keyboard. Now the rotation is working properly. As you can see, I still got some bugs to work out, and this was the hardest camera to program. It's the only one that uses a different system. But as you can see, it does work. I can zoom in and out, pan. I can even lock on characters, which I'll show you in a minute. But you can see I can smoothly change between any of these cameras really quickly. Okay, and the last feature I want to show off is the lock on feature. This was a little more complicated because I haven't figured out a way to properly implement it, because it requires more gameplay features before I can fully implement it. But as you can see, if I'm in third person mode, it works different with each camera type, and I've set it up that way. So if I set the lock on target, the camera will go over the shoulder and it will try to point directly at the NPC. Now right now it's based on the character. You can see it's just locking on like you're aiming a gun or something like that. And this is going to require more work because I have to put in more gameplay features for that to work properly. But if I'm in isometric third person and I hit set lock on, what it'll try to do is something similar to the spectator cam, and it will try to keep both you and the target on screen. Instead of all players, it'll just keep the player and whatever the player is looking at on screen. So it'll work that way for both the isometric and third person, and isometric click to move, and the isometric spectator cam. Now in the grid based camera, what it'll do is it'll allow you to target someone and zoom in and out on them directly. You can see the camera is just facing them directly. Now this particular feature still needs work because it's going to be depending on the specific needs of the project, but so far it works pretty well. And the last thing I was working on was just debugging a lot of data that's useful to have when you're inside the project. The first thing is seeing the frames per second so you can see how fast the game is running. The next is to change the game speed. I just have this little slider up here. And if I change the game speed, you can see it changes how fast the game is running. Just in case I need to do something like slow-mo or debug something. set to 0 by accident, or just see an effect. And it'll also tell you the number of characters that are in the game. So I can see how many characters are on the screen for debugging purposes. Also my little debug text right here, which I'm impressed with because it'll debug inside the game and at the console at the same time. And my little version number. So that's more or less the camera features that'll be inside Project Hermes. This is part 1. I've got 2 more steps to go to, but the next video is going to be on the input features, which I finished, which was actually pretty difficult. The hardest part about this all was getting it to work on both mobile and PC and a controller, because those 3 inputs are very different. But now that it's finished, it'll allow me to create my projects even faster, and I won't have to worry about writing this code over and over again. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. And if you're interested in anything I'm doing, or you just want to follow the channel, please like and subscribe, and check out my socials in the description down below.